snap to Heinicke on 4th and 3. Steps up, looks to his left, skips through the tackle of Hassan Reddick. Now he has to stop at the 45, runs out of time, throws back across his body. That is caught! Unbelievable play! What? John Bates at the 36. It's a 6-yard gain and a first down.
Oh, double bongos? What are we doing?
Taylor deserves those bongos.
He does. Bram Weinstein with the call. Bram Weinstein? Why, I always get this wrong.
I'd go Steen, but who knows?
Taylor Heinicke. He upstaged Cam Newton. He threw for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns against a defense that was ranked the best in football entering the game. And Washington spoils Cam's return to Bank of America Stadium, a 27-21 win for the WFT over CAR. Greg, I don't know what Washington's long-term plans are at QB, but Taylor Heinicke is making a case with games like these.
The last 2 weeks he's been awesome, and this was the best game of his career. He led the league today in average depth of target, and yet he only had 6 incompletions. We don't normally play like a 4th and 3 6-yard gain, but if you haven't seen that highlight, that play was ridiculous. It was such a Favre-type play, and it typified this game because right before that there was a 3rd and 21 where Heinicke throws a dart for 18. They rush up. No indecisiveness from Riverboat Ron at all. I'm going to let Taylor make a play, and for the second time on a big 4th down, he makes a crazy play. He's been great on 3rd and 4th down, and I contrast that to Matt Rule, who just early, or a little bit later, I think in the 4th quarter, hems and haws, and the crowd starts booing because he's going to punt on 4th down, and then he wastes all this time, and then he takes the timeout, wasting a timeout he needed after wasting the 30 seconds, and then they don't get the 4th down either, and it was like Riverboat Ron, decisive, Taylor Heinicke, amazing. Cam Newton played great in this game. Okay, great's maybe an overstatement. Cam Newton played well. He played plenty well enough to win, and yet Heinicke was easily the best quarterback.
I locked up the Panthers. I felt really good about it. And even better early on in the game when Newton right off the bat was playing really well. So, if you're the Panthers, it's like, geez, you had all this momentum and you have this opportunity against Washington, and just to get beat in a game where your defense can't get stops, that's disappointing. They kind of, again, the NFC is so wide open, just like the AFC, that the fact that they're 5-6 doesn't take them out of contention. But it makes you, again, wonder, all right, it's time to pump the brakes a little bit because this team might not be ready to make that run.
It's got to thrill Ron Rivera on the final 2 drives of the game for Carolina, to shut them down on 4th down both times. It's just like this is
Cam played well, but then again they did have a chance at the end of the game, and he couldn't get it done then.
The Ron Rivera experience, if you go back through multiple seasons in Carolina, we saw it last year in Washington. It's like, let's start 2-7, and then we'll kick into high gear and make the playoffs. But in Carolina, I feel like there were like multiple campaigns where like they'd get off to a terrible start and then rally, and it's like Ron Rivera is obviously the coach of the future. You stick with everyone else, and they do the same thing the next year. But I think part of the problem with Washington wasn't just the defense that was so off-critiqued. The offense was so out of sync. They haven't had Curtis Samuel all year long. They just haven't had the dudes. And Heinicke, the one thing about him, I think there's something about watching him that is exciting. There's an element of daring do to his game. I hate the gunslinger terminology for quarterbacks, but he kind of has that energy to him, and he hits throws, and when he makes a mistake, he'll just keep doing it, and I keep throwing it, and he's fun to watch.
He was getting love after the game from some of the Panthers too, who were ex-teammates of his. His first start as a quarterback was with Carolina. Revenge game for him, not just Ron Rivera. And they were just kind of saying,
young Turner?
They were just saying that guy's a dog. Yeah, Scott Turner had a great day, the offensive coordinator for Washington. That was very surprising to me to see their offense control the game. I expected more out of the Carolina defense. They had a masterful end to the first half, start of the second half sequence where they have a 6-minute touchdown drive that took all the time off to end the first half, then another 6-minute touchdown drive to start the second half, and you're kind of like, oh, what just happened here? And Cam came back and everything, but Scary Terry had one of his best games of his career, and Antonio Gibson, I think, looks a little more spry than he did when he was fighting injury earlier in the year.
We talked a little bit. It came up, I think, on the Thursday show. Would P.J. Walker play at all in this game? And I don't think he did. And
he didn't at all. And they said the plan was to, but they thought Cam was playing well enough. They just didn't.
And
want
after the game, one thing, I guess the last thing that will come to somebody that's absorbing a new playbook is the 2-minute offense. And that it kind of set up game script-wise poorly for Carolina, where they needed that last drive, and Cam didn't have the full playbook at his disposal. They did not move the ball late in that game. So tough loss for the Panthers, and Washington's battling.
They're only one game out of the wild card.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. It is stupid, but ultimately fun. Let's move to Duval.
Here's a gun run to Deebo Samuel coming left, right at Ward, breaks a tackle down the sideline. Deebo Samuel will take it all the way in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Cisco.
A lot of sauce on that.
A lot of sauce. Greg Papa with the call. KNBR. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 2 touchdown passes in the 3rd straight game. Deebo had another touchdown on the ground. What a year he's having. The 49ers dominate the Jaguars 30-10. Their 3rd win in 4 weeks. Mark, this felt like a possible letdown game for the Niners, but San Francisco took care of its business in impressive fashion.
Yeah, I picked this game second in our draft, and I had a lot of people telling me that I was nuts to do so, but I knew what I wanted to see. I wanted to see if they could
Well, you could have gotten it way deeper in the draft.
The haters were out from you.
You know what?
But look at it now.
Listen, when you know what you want, you just go after it. You don't risk anything.
Incredibly gutsy lock,
right.
too, so congratulations on that as well.
Well, look at they did me wrong last week, but now our relationship is totally repaired because this is one of the teams that I went into the year wanting to love, and my love is starting to return and grow a bit. But I wanted just to see, would anything translate from that Rams game, or was that just one of these fluke scenarios? Opening drive, once again, 49ers, 20 plays, 87 yards, 13-plus minutes. The first quarter was over in maybe 21 minutes, and I was like, it was just fascinating to watch. Deebo Samuel, it wasn't just that one touchdown. He led the team with 79 yards on 8 carries on the ground. They basically used him out of the backfield as a running back.
2 straight weeks.
And they're banged up in the backfield, so they absolutely slaughtered Jacksonville. Inside the numbers, that's what they've been doing. But they had touchdown drives of 80, 77, and 77 yards. And the Jaguars' offense and Urban Meyer, basically called it out after the game himself. There's no growth on this offense. And Trevor Lawrence at the end of the game, is interesting to see a shot of him with his arm around Urban Meyer. And not, in a friendly way. I think they both know they're in for it. It's going to be as long as possible for the rest of the season, because the hope was maybe Jacksonville's defense is rounding into something special. Not today. I mean, that narrative is over for a week.
With Deebo and watching his great season, and it's been an all-pro level season for Deebo Samuel, that's when Kyle Shanahan, and he's had his ups and downs obviously, but where having a really smart, creative play caller, when you have a very unique, talented player like Deebo, when those things come together and you see what you're seeing there, because the way he's used, you get the feeling Deebo Samuel's special abilities are being used to their maximum efficiency in this offense. It's nice to see it that way.
In one little thing, Brandon Ayuk, who was in the doghouse, and there was a lot of weird stuff going on with him. He's changed, and he had 78 yards and a touchdown today, so he's added to the offense. He just wasn't part of the system before.
Garoppolo's been pretty good over the last month or so.
When they play like this and they run the ball like this,
they had 33 plays to 4 at one point.
I feel like this probably happens to the Jaguars a lot, but they had 14 first downs while the Jags had 12 total yards midway through the second quarter. It was just game over. Go eat a sandwich.
All right, so San Francisco, they stay in the picture in the NFC West as the Seattle Seahawks fall further out. Let's close things up with a trip to the darkest recesses of the AFC East.
Tua, pressure, gets away, throw deep outfield, wide open, Hollins, he's got it! The 15 to 10, and he's out at the 5-yard line.
Oh my gosh, he did not go out of bounds.
He stayed in bounds. He tiptoed down the end. They say he's in bounds. They'll look at this, of course, but a 65-yard touchdown.
Jimmy Cephalo, Jason Taylor, Joe Rose, all on the call there for WQAM. Tua Tagovailoa connected on a long touchdown to Matt Collins. And he threw the go-ahead 5-yard touchdown pass to Myles Gaskin early in the fourth quarter. Final score 24-17. Jets fall to the Dolphins at the Meadowlands. That's 3 straight wins for the Miami football team. They got, even they have a pulse, however faint it may be, in the AFC playoff race. Tua was good, by the way. 27 of 33, 273 touchdown passes. He had an interception that wasn't pretty, but that's part of the Tua experience. In general, I think his audition, I'm giving him so far for his sophomore season, I'm giving him you got to factor in the injuries because durability, that is a skill. I'm giving him a B- so far. I don't know what it needs to get to for them to get out of the Deshaun
You hand out as a grader, you give out a lot of B-.
I do.
I remember on our show you would give us a post-show grade, a lot of B-.
It's definitely, I think it's above C+, and I don't think it's a solid B yet. It's a B-. I think he needs to get, and now we're getting scientific, I think he needs to get to A- to keep them out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. So he's going to have to go on a tear here.
Right,
that's
because
science.
They have an intense wandering eye. And so, B-, or let's say if it's out of 100, he gets an 86 to finish the season.
Not going to do it.
No.
He's got to get to 90.
Quarterback somewhere else they think is a 96.
And you mentioned they have a pulse, but it's interesting how the top of the NFC is much better. But if you look at the wild card race in the AFC versus the NFC, it's actually more open in the NFC. The Dolphins are still 3 games in the loss column behind Chargers, Bengals, Buffalo, which right now is 5, 6, 7 in the AFC. So it's kind of a big mountain to
that's
climb.
why you and I differentiate because I think every team in the AFC stinks.
Right. I mean, I get it, but just they have more teams to climb over, and they have.
What about the Patriots? What about them? No, they all stink.
It's a sharp differentiation.
There's no way to judge what's going to happen here.
If they could somehow get in, then they'd have a better.
They've got the Panthers, Giants,
chance.
and Jets. There is a way in if they can play their best football.
Okay.
We
Elijah
talked about this
Moore,
on Thursday.
141. How about that?
Elijah Moore, if you want to, on the Jets side, and Joe Flacco is now the 4th quarterback to play for the team this year. What a joke! What a tough season.
If you want to call them quarterbacks,
but. Zach Wilson sits out another week, but Elijah Moore is the truth. That guy's, as long as he stays out of the Jets grinder, is going to be a big-time player. That draft class in general has a chance to be really good if Zach Wilson can play. But the only way we can know if Zach Wilson can play is if he actually plays, and let's hope that he is back in the lineup soon because otherwise there's really no reason to watch the Jets.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
I'm legitimately angry. I'm not. I'm actually not. Right, that part of the season.
The
is
Jets
past.
right now have the number 2 overall pick in the draft, their own pick, and the number 5 via Seattle.
Thank you, Jamal Adams.
That Jamal Adams trade is not feeling good right now.
Thank you, Jamal. All right.
Don't want to see Zach Wilson get Josh Rosen.
No, that's not happening. I don't believe, but we'll see. All right. Hey, Ricky. By the way. That was pretty crazy. The halftime, they did this great salute to service halftime show, and they brought out the veterans, and it was the 6 major military branches, and the flags were out. And then this dude, they throw it up to this dude in the concourse, and he's an artist who's also a singer, and he does an America the Beautiful rendition of the song while painting. And me and Ricky are trying to figure out what he's doing. It looks like a mess. It looks like he's not going to pull it off while he's singing and painting. And then something special happened.
Oh, my God. This was – so you and I are talking to each other. We're like, oh, my God, the song's finishing up. He better finish. He's got a lot of time.
Looks like hell.
We're like, what the heck? What the heck? And then when he flipped the painting
flipped
upside down,
it
you and I were screaming so loud. We were like,
flipped
"Oh
it.
my God!" It was an American Eagle. And Dan and I, you would have thought it was the coolest thing. And then Mark thought we were joking, you thought we were being just jerks.
Right.
But we legitimately, in that moment,
It was the most impressive feat I had seen in that
Ever.
building.
Yeah, but why did I think you were?
What about the
why did I
Justin
think you were being
Herbert
Not even
30-yard
close.
throw to Keenan Allen?
Because-
Not even
that was a
radar.
BB,
Not
though. No one
no.
else can
Greg
do
has,
it.
has nothing to do
Greg,
with this.
did you know it was an eagle when he was painting it?
Let me answer for Greg. I wasn't even watching. I don't know.
I mean, I was eating lunch or dinner with Tyler Dragon, our old friend,
Our
up
old
in
buddy.
the, up
Good
in
to
the
see
press
Tyler.
box. So
Yeah,
I was not
Mark-
aware of the entertainment.
Mark knew exactly what it was, so that's
Sorry.
why he thought we were being jerks
Well,
because
no.
he was like, he thought we were making fun of the guy.
Not in a way where I was like, look at me versus you two, but I thought you guys were being kind of like snarky about the fact that
Because
he
our
turned it over.
reaction was unbelievable.
It was,
like,
but
it was.
I think here's
Mark
the thing.
saw it coming though. He was a seer.
Well, no,
He was
hold
playing
on.
chess.
Yeah.
Look, I lack lots of skills, but like that thing, like I saw when he was I said to you guys why there's an upside down eagle, and it was like
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, neither
I didn't
did
hear
I.
him.
Well,
Dan, you would have thought they just told us like we had won $1 million. Like I don't know what made us
Coolest
both
thing I've ever
react like that, but we went crazy.
The dude was singing
He
America
was
the Beautiful,
singing.
hitting every note, painting with his hands.
And it was upside down. And I couldn't see what it
Spins
was.
the canvas around in a big spot, and it's a bald eagle, baby.
one thing that helped me.
That's a big win for the Chargers. Like there's a rivalry between the Rams and the Chargers game day presentation. That's a
The
good
most
W for the
yeah,
team.
yeah.
incredible thing I've seen.
I've
in
been
a
to a
long time.
number of places where they basically, like an artist did the same thing, where it's like they go through the scene, you're like, everyone's like, what is it? What is
Okay,
it? Then they
okay.
turn the painting around, so maybe my eyes were
Are
just
they
more
singing?
trained.
Are they singing? And I'm
Yeah,
looking.
well, I don't know
His
about this.
name is Joe Everson. And he only has 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and only gets like 700.
Oh, he needs more.
You
Juice
look
him.
up Joe Everson on YouTube. Like I kid
Everybody,
you
It was
not.
sensational.
All right, let's everybody, the listeners, if you want to see this guy's work, please go to his YouTube page, comment, and say ATN sent you, and give the man love.
Oh, let's
what
blow
a
him up.
patriot!
Oh my God! It just
All right.
it just. Oh.
Ricky, see, I was right there with you. We had a
were,
moment there.
Yeah,
It was
we
special.
were just going
Dummies.
crazy.
Exactly. All right, let's go. Good show. We'll be back on Wednesday. A little different week, obviously. It's Thanksgiving, so we will have our next show on Wednesday. We'll preview all of Week 12. Thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody. Until then, heed the call.